Hi everyone, welcome to another great interview. Super excited to have Brittany on here. Brittany was one of our superstar clients that finished the program about 3 months ago now. So we just want to reminisce about her amazing journey, get loads of insights from you, Brittany, to see if we can help some other people out in a similar situation. So if you're watching this live, please hashtag live as always. If you're watching replay, please hashtag replay. And let's get straight into it. So Brittany,
all right,
you can tell everyone who you are, where you're from, what you do, and a bit about your wellness journey to date.
Okay. Well, my name is Brittany Bassett. I live in Auburn, Alabama, in the States. I work as a sign language interpreter by day and online teacher for English by night.
I thought gym goer by night.
No, gym goer in the morning.
Yeah.
Now I'm in the morning. Yeah, now I'm in the mornings.
You've just been to the gym, right? Already?
Yes. Yeah. I just got out of the shower.
Fantastic. So, and a bit about your health and wellness journey, Brittany, and what you were struggling with and what led you to reach out to us in the first place.
So I real honestly was just scrolling Instagram. And I followed a few like plant-based pages, and you guys popped up, and I was like, well, maybe I'll put feelers out there. We'll see how these people are, And so I sent you guys a message, and then we just started rocking and rolling. So yeah. We worked together, I think the end of the summer, 3 months. Mm-hmm. And yeah, I was not in a good place when I first, health-wise, especially when I first met you guys, mentally, physically, all of that. I'd really dug my heels into some bad habits with my eating and wasn't handling stress well, and really just had not even given any opportunity to clear any mental space that I had going on.
Yes. Thank you for that. And so maybe we can go straight into those bad habits. Yeah. I think one of them with you, that one of the bad habits you had was really vegan and not always vegan junk food, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, if you can just tell a little bit about how you were into that and perhaps how it's changed.
Yeah, so I had dabbled in plant-based eating before, and just kind of gone through every diet, keto, Weight Watcher, count point. I mean, I'd done everything, and it just wasn't an intuitive way for me to eat. It became in the past, I had some issues with just obsession about counting everything. I was not in a good place several years ago either, but so I had kind of leaned more towards plant-based because I had done some research and, watched all the documentaries, and it was plant-based is better for you. Well, I got half that memo, and I was like, well, it's vegan. So I jumped into all of the vegan junk food, and I'd go out to if we go visit a new town, I would go find all the vegan spots and then eat all of the donuts and all of the other things. So even though I was eating more plant-based, it still wasn't healthfully eating.
It's so common though, right?
Especially because it's so easy to find.
And it's getting easier.
Vegan treats.
It's so prevalent now, and they're just pumping out more of these vegan junk food products out into the market, which is great for the plant-based movement and veganism because there's a surge in demand. But also they're just, for people just transitioning, it can be very difficult because you see the little V on the packet. You're like, okay, that's vegan. That's probably pretty healthy. And a lot of it's...
but they're full of oil and sugar and all the other bad things that everything, all the other junk food's full of.
And how do you feel now, Brittany, with junk food? Is it different?
I actually don't have it in the house. I don't keep it in the house. I know. So if we do, if I want ice cream or something, because you still have cravings, of course. Yeah. My taste buds have definitely changed. But if we do that, we'll go to an ice cream shop and I'll eat it there. So I'm not bringing home loads of stuff to put in the freezer and those kinds of things.
Best way.
Yeah. So it's a lot better.
and then it's a nice treat. You can look forward to going out and enjoying your those foods. You don't have to omit them completely from your diet. It's not about completely restricting them. So that's cool that you've got control on that.
Yeah, and
Besides you not having junk food in the house, which obviously helped you, what else do you think helped you to kind of transition from not eating junk food anymore that much?
I kind of had to, at first I thought weaning off was going to work for me, but that didn't really work for me. Because it just kind of gave me one more reason to keep it around.
Yeah.
So I just threw everything out, and then I had all my meals planned out because I don't want to waste the food that I've prepared. So I currently I meal prep for like 3 days at a time because I like to go to the grocery store, about 2 times a week, so I can get all the freshest stuff. So I now meal plan, and I even brought, when I just went on a trip for my test for interpreting, and I actually brought my oatmeal, everything with me, and like I do when we go camping. I brought my oatmeal, all my everything with me, so we just had that at the hotel. So we weren't like busting out Waffle House or wherever else to go eat some crappy, really delicious but crappy food.
That's so great to hear, Brittany. It sounds like you're just so much more mindful about your consumption and what you're putting in your body. And because of that, you're much more prepared. You've got more structure. You're planning in advance when you've got to go somewhere. So that's fantastic.
And I want to come back to planning, Brittany, because from the journey, from our perspective, working with you, I think what we discovered, in your case, that very, very long-term planning wasn't working that much, because I think you wanted to reach so much that you would just feel probably too overwhelmed, and then you wouldn't do anything. And I think the moment when we transition into finding micro goals instead of macro goals, that really changed the game for you. If you want to elaborate on that.
Because having long-term goals is important, but my brain and wiring, I just get overwhelmed. It feels kind of like it's looming, like it's there, and I have so far to go that it feels kind of a struggle to get there. But breaking them into smaller goals, like, okay, we're going to get up and we're going to do this 1, 2, 3. Okay, well, we did that for today, and just taking it one day at a time. And it's really, I got to a point now where it's one decision at a time. So like now I have a whole new morning routine. I wake up, and before I would have coffee and then it would get on the phone. Now I don't do that. I make my lemon water before I have coffee, and if I do choose to have that. So breaking it into smaller goals was a huge help for me.
Amazing.
And still is.
So cool, Brittany. And it sounds like you've really embraced it as a lifestyle now, as opposed to, you mentioned all the diets you've tried in the past that obviously weren't sustainable and very restrictive. But you finished our program like 3 months ago, and it sounds like you've just been going from strength to strength ever since. So it's really part of your lifestyle.
It's definitely easier now, because I have like a pantry list I keep for rotation for all of my beans and legumes and grains. And so I just meal prep on Sundays for my lunches, because that's the hardest thing for me is lunches when I'm traveling for work. And I found that if I tackle the hardest meals, then the other ones I just fall in line. So it's not difficult. So it's so much easier now.
It's so amazing, Brittany. From what we see and what we're so happy about is that, we needed some time to figure out what was working for you, and all the methods you're describing, it's great ones. It's not like a rule set in stone. For some people, it's different, but I just love hearing your story of like finding what works for you, finding your micro goals, finding your meal prep. Like you say, it can be just 3 days. Sometimes when people think about planning, prepping, they again imagine this huge work when we have to cook for 2 days and stand in the kitchen, like hours and hours. You can just, like you say, prep for 3 days, prep for another 3 days. It doesn't feel overwhelming. You know what you're eating those next 3 days, and just keep you, on track. So really nice to see how you found little by little what works for you. And the most amazing thing is that you keep implementing, like Scott said, and it is lasting. That's our biggest goal for people, to make this journey sustainable. We never want it to end by the time then the program ends.
Right.
So nice to see that you keep going and actually getting so much stronger every day.
And it's been great too, because some of the health issues that I was having have gotten drastically better. I mean, I had to go back to my doctor. I used to have really terrible acid reflux and GERD problems, and I had to go back to my doctor, and I'm actually off that medication now. So yeah, which is great. And that was a daily, just, you know, you couldn't sleep. I really struggled with that. And
it's no coincidence that, you know, you stopped eating a lot of processed food with all of the, you know, unsavory ingredients and chemicals, and, you know, now your body's feeling much better. So that's great.
And you know, your body wants to feel good, you know.
Exactly.
And it's not meant to feel crappy all the time. No, so it's great. It's great.
It feels good to feel good. That's what we always say.
Yeah, we always say that the moment we actually get to understand and feel the feeling of feeling good, we want more of it. But
no, it's not worth it to go back. It's really not.
And there's so many people, they don't know anymore. They forget how it feels to feel good. They're so used to feeling, you know, like, I'm okay, whatever. And they just like float in that zone. But the moment they get back to that feeling of feeling awesome, they're like, whoa, I never want to go back, just like what you said.
Well, feeling good is the normal state of being.
Right.
It becomes, we get used to feeling other ways when we poison our bodies. So like you say, we forget what that normal state of being is, that good feeling.
And just my like general endurance with like daily activities. Like I go to the store to get the dog food, and now I can, you know, pick up the 40-pound bag and carry it to the register and not be dying. You know, I used to like be struggling with the cart to push it, but you know, just being at the gym and finally getting my food dialed in, I have so much more endurance, and can enjoy things that I love to do, like hiking. Like the other day, me and my partner went hiking. We did 13 miles in the weekend, and 9 of those miles we had like 30-pound packs. And we were still rocking and rolling. So yeah, huge difference.
You're just able to enjoy life more now, right? It makes everything easier and more enjoyable, which is what it's about. And Brittany, what was your favorite part of the coaching program?
I think my favorite part was, for me, like the constant communication, and having access. Like I mean, you guys are a total continent away from me. I didn't think that it would be, I really wasn't sure how I was going to go, to be honest with you. But it was very encouraging, and I still talk to you guys now, even though I'm not like a current client.
Amazing.
And I honestly, like, I haven't met you guys in real life, but I do feel like I count you guys as friends. Because that, you know, that's just, you guys really have made a big impact on my life. And I feel like just that constant communication helped keep me focused, because, you know, I struggle with that. And just being able to know that if I had a question I could ask, and it wasn't like a dumb question, or, you know, you guys were just so open to and willing to talk about different things. For me, that was one of the best parts of it. But I think in long term, what's been the most helpful, even though it was the hardest for me in the beginning, was the mindfulness portion of it. Like just giving time to meditate on your choices and how your choices are going to impact your emotions, and your emotions are going to impact what foods you choose or do not choose. You know, how it's all connected. And so that was very valuable. So now I actually work into putting meditation in my daily life. And that was something I kind of thought was honestly a little dumb before. I thought it was just kind of like, you know, hippie-ish and not a thing to do, but I do that all the time now.
I loved what you said, Brittany, that like, now I meditate on my choices. I want to enhance this sentence. It's like really makes so much sense, because the meditation, yoga, all other mindfulness practices and mindset work, that's exactly what you start doing. You start becoming just conscious about every choice you make, because so often we just go into autopilot, what we eat, how we spend the day, what we watch, what people we hang out with, all of this is wellness, and we just go into autopilot, and things are happening by default, but default is created by our unconscious choices. So when we can revert those unconscious choices into conscious choices, that's when we create reality we really want. And like you said, now you can meditate on your choices and make the best choices for yourself.
Right.
So super nice to hear.
Yeah.
Brittany,
Yeah.
one of my favorite Buddhist sayings is we should all meditate for 15 minutes a day. Unless we're busy, we should do it for an hour. And it's so true.
And
Some people
it
think,
is.
"Oh, meditation's silly. I haven't got time for it. I'm too busy." That's when we need it the most.
Yeah. And you feel like sometimes, when things are really hectic, you're like, okay, you're sitting there trying to meditate and all you can think about is your to-do list. And, oh, well, it's been 15 minutes and I could have already done X, Y, Z. But really, the frazzled state of your mindset isn't helping you get it done any faster. If you just take, the time to relax and give yourself a chance to breathe during the day is really helpful.
And you need to go through a lot of meditations which go, like you say, that you just sit and think about what you would be doing instead. But that's a point to get to the real meditation and real benefits of it. That's just one of the stages, the initial stage you have to go through to start controlling your mind, and not vice versa. And it's not happening like this. Meditation practice takes a really long time and it's never-ending process, but that's amazing process which we definitely all need to have in our daily routine.
Absolutely. So Brittany, we'll wrap things up, but what is your one golden piece of advice that you give to someone that's feeling stuck, thinking about online coaching, maybe been following us for a few months? What would your advice be?
Well, you guys might not know this, but I saw an interview of a previous client of yours, and I wasn't sure if you guys were like the real deal or if it was something I should kind of invest in. So I actually messaged them and I was like, hey, so about these two people, and they're like, oh, it's great. And so I would say if you're unsure about it, the worst thing that could happen is that nothing changes, but it's going to change. It's going to be better for the better. And even if it's not something that you feel like right now seems possible, it really is. It's doable.
Everything is possible. It depends on our belief system.
Yeah.
I love that you did that, Brittany, and I'd do the same, and we'd encourage anyone else to do the same. So if anyone's watching this,
anybody wants to reach out, they certainly can. I'd be happy to talk to you guys. Yeah.
And other people we talk with, everyone is very open to be reached out. And that's another cool thing, that we're creating this community. So we don't want it to be just a program and just one-on-one. Of course, during a program, we focus a lot on, personalized program. But then we want you to be still going and involved in the community like you are now. Soon you will be jumping on nutrition group coaching call, which we provide to members of our family.
That's in the next 5 minutes, and we don't make you late for that. We'll get in trouble with Jana, the nutritionist. So Brittany, thank you so much for coming.
Thank you guys.
And sharing with everyone your beautiful journey. And it's so great for us to see you just thriving and flourishing and going from strength to strength. So super well done. Keep it up, and we'll catch up soon.
Good job.
That sounds good. So good to chat with you guys.
Bye-bye.
Bye.